Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm be showing you how I made this super cute chocolate strawberry ghosty rose arrangement. So if you want to see how I made this, go ahead and keep on watching. So first things first, you have to go ahead and run to Walmart and pick up this cute little ghost bucket, some strawberries, almond bark, roses, and the bamboo skewers. So here I've already melted down my almond bark vanilla in intervals of 15 seconds because you do not want to burn it. So I'm already starting with fresh clean strawberries. I'm just going to make sure they're super dry before we start dipping them into the chocolate. You want to make sure they're completely dry because if you dip it into your chocolate while it's wet, you will clump up your chocolate and you won't be able to use it anymore. So now here I'm just going to be poking my strawberries in the opposite direction of what we usually would do, because I want to have this super cute full ghost effect, like if he's wearing a sheet over his head. And I promise you this tutorial is going to be super easy because it requires little to no ingredients. And it's just requiring us to make some strawberries and then just arranging it into a bucket, so it's fairly easy for beginners. And here it doesn't really matter to me if it's right in the middle. I'm just trying to place the skewer where I think the ghost will look the best standing upright whenever we flip it back around. And I'm not coating it all the way to the top, as you can see, because I'm going to be filling that in with chocolate later on in the video. So here, be sure you are tapping it down a little bit so you can get that big drop effect at the bottom. So it can look like he's wearing a sheet over his head or like a floating ghost. I'm going to fast forward you guys a little bit while I decorate the rest of these strawberries. And remember, we are not trying to make these perfect, so the less perfect the better. Okay, and while the strawberries are going to be drying, we're going to go ahead and start prepping our roses. And these are the colors I chose to go with because I feel like they match best with the iridescent ghost. So here we're going to be removing our rubber bands, but be sure you do keep one rubber band because we are going to need it. So now here I'm just going to be measuring out how tall I want these roses to come out from my bucket. Okay, so now I kind of know how much I want to cut off. So we're going to start cutting in angles. Don't cut it straight through. You have to cut it slightly slanted. That way the rose food can get absorbed correctly through the stem and helps your roses last longer. And this part's going to really depend on you personally, how tall you want these to be coming out. So once I'm done cutting my roses, I'm going to go ahead and fill up my bucket with water and the plant food. Okay, now that I've got it down to the size I want, I'm going to start putting my rubber band around these roses so they don't move anywhere. And this is the step where you can take apart that arrangement and put it together whatever colors you want next to each other, or trim down whatever you feel needs to be more shorter or higher. I'm going to have this particular arrangement against the wall, so I do want the middle flowers to be a little bit taller and the front ones and the back ones a little bit shorter. Now that I've set them down, I just want to be sure I like where everything is before we put in the strawberries. Okay, now I've set it up to how I like it. We're going to go ahead and start our second part of the strawberries. Okay, now this second step is optional, but I did it because I didn't want any red coming through the white. And I feel like a second coat would just help the bottom base be stronger, so when we wrap it up in the candy bag, the base of the ghost doesn't fall off. I feel like this is just the perfect gift and the perfect DIY. So basically, this is like a 3-in-1 type of gift because the person could eat the strawberries and then they're going to be left with a arrangement of flowers. And then sadly, once the flowers are wilted, then you're left with a little bucket that you can use next year. Okay, so now here, just fill up this Ziploc bag with some chocolate and cut a little edge at this tip. And here we're just going to be picking up our strawberry, removing the stick from the top and placing into the same hole at the bottom. And we're going to do this for all the strawberries. And then with our bag, just go ahead and fill up that top hole so we can reduce any leakage that might happen. And go ahead and do that for the bottom as well. And do that same process for all the other strawberries you may have. And I've come to the conclusion that the best way to prevent leakage is getting strawberries that are more a bright red instead of the darker red because they're not as ripe. So here we're going to be using our Wilton food pens. You can get them at Walmart, Michael's, or anywhere like that. And so here we're going to gently start drawing on our face. And you want to be gentle with this because if you press too hard, you will end up ripping up your chocolate. And make sure you have a napkin around so you can wipe off some of that excess chocolate that might stay stuck on the marker, so you can continue writing on it freely. And now I'm going to speed up the video just a little bit so you can watch me decorate the rest of these strawberries. And of course, if you don't want to use a pen, you don't have to. You couldn't go ahead and just pipe on your faces using regular chocolate. And also, you can do faces on both sides of the strawberries if your arrangement's going to be seen from like 360 view. Mine is just going to be up against the wall. No one's going to see the back. So I'm just decorating the front. But if yours is going to be seen all around, then go ahead and put the faces on both sides. And you can get way more creative than this. I just wanted to do that basic little ghost look. But if you want to make it more cutesy, then you can. Okay, now that I'm done with my strawberries and I let them dry for a couple of minutes so the black doesn't smudge, we're going to be using these treat bags that I got from Walmart and these dot candies that I also got from Walmart. So now I'm just going to be removing my little strawberry, and this step is optional, but I really did want to use these dots that I got from Walmart. And so I'm just going to stick them onto the stick and then go ahead and put my strawberry on. And I'm going to continue this process for all the rest of the strawberries I have. And I believe the box of the dot said mystery flavor, but the one I ate didn't really taste like anything, in case you were wondering. And this is how they look so far. Super cute. Now that I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and start putting them into my treat bags. Okay, I'm going to speed up the video just a little bit. But here you do want to be very gentle when you're putting in the strawberries into the bags, because if you go too fast, you might smear some of that chocolate and the bag won't look that clear anymore. And before I started wrapping these, I did put them in the fridge for about 2 minutes to make sure they're cool so I wouldn't smear any chocolate. Okay, now that I'm done, we're on to our final step. So this is how they look all wrapped up. And now we're going to start putting them into our arrangement. And so since these are wood sticks, you do want to make sure they do not touch the water, because the water does have that plant food and you don't want to contaminate your strawberries. Okay, now here I'm just going to be adding in the sticks straight into my arrangement, and they won't fall because we did use that rubber band. So basically the stick's going to get entwined with our rose stems. And how you arrange it is just going to be up to you. I'm just filling in the open spaces that I had with these strawberries. And for the treat bags, you can use any size. I decided to go with this size because it's big enough to help protect my strawberries from the roses. And it's also very important you always cover your strawberries with a wrapper or something, because the roses do have pesticides and chemicals that keep them fresh in the stores, and you don't want to also contaminate your strawberries. If you're someone who likes to sell treats for the holidays, this is a super good thing to add to your sale list, because it's fairly easy to make and you'll make big profits because it's a 3-in-1 gift. And it is also not time consuming. This can easily be done like in 30 minutes or so. Okay, now here I'm just double checking to be sure my sticks are not touching the water. And a little trick I like to do is add any leftover rose leaves that might have fallen off and stick them right in front of the ghost to cover up a little bit more of that plastic and that sticks.
You made the strawberries look like literally like ghost. That looks super nice. I don't know how you made it look like that, but
that was my husband complimenting me on my arrangement because I told him I had just finished. If you don't have a husband that supports you in anything you do, then dump him, because life is way too short. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And if you did like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. And don't forget to share to anybody who might be a treat seller. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get notified every single time I post a new video. And thank you all for watching, and see you all next time.